Sometimes it ain't about what you got to give, but it's how you give it.
I'll remember that the next time I get laid.
Wow, you really want to wait that long?
Oh! Yeah!
I know you guys got the good times approach.
Let's go!
You got the wild parties, you're one of the guys.
I said I wasn't drinking tonight.
You're charming, you're upfront. One of you is good looking.
Oh, please, you're embarrassing me.
Uno, dos, tres.
I know this sounds crazy, but I want to see what else is out there.
Ricky's just doing what's best for him.
Was there ever a time when he didn't?
I know what's important to me. Obviously, you do not.
I got a bad feeling about Andre.
We do have history. I've been doing this for 20 years. You guys have been doing this for, what, 20 minutes? You think you're gonna steal my clients? I don't lose clients. I don't lose, period.
You are minnows. Minnows do not go after sharks for a reason. They will eat you alive, swallow you whole, spit you out for bait.
You underestimate me, buddy.
Here we go.
I'm about to just black out. Yeah, I'm about to just black out. I'm about to just black out. Yeah, I'm about to just black out.
Are you Vin Diesel?
No, I'm bigger and better looking.
Vin, come on. Stop playing with him. Yeah, this is Vin Diesel. I'm Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I'm about to just black out.
Thanks, everybody. Rob, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. That's so funny. I haven't watched that trailer in a while. There was a review of the second season on some website, and the whole review, it wasn't very well written. Like he used essentially in the same sentence and not on purpose, not making an ironic point. But it was all he just got into the conspiracy theory that if Vin Diesel exists in the universe of Ballers, then Dwayne Johnson must not, and so Furious 6 and 7 didn't happen, which he gave that like an A+ review. He gave his conspiracy theory a great review.
Who doesn't want Furious 6 and 7 to exist, though? I don't want to live in a world.
This guy didn't. Yeah, he did. He was fine with that.
Rob, let's talk about the second season of the show. It seems like you're raising the stakes a little bit this season in terms of the characters and what they're going through. Last season was mostly a great comedy, but it didn't seem like it had the stakes as having like an enemy like it looks like Andy Garcia is going to be.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely, last season you got to know the characters, so we don't have to do that heavy lifting. We just get right into the story, and it starts with us trying to build our new, division. We're in new offices, and we're running the show, and he immediately tries to take down the biggest financial manager in Miami, played by Andy Garcia. And so, yeah, the stakes are way higher. The cocaine is a lot stronger, the boobs are bigger, that kind of thing.
Are the stakes higher for you guys going into the second season as well as not creators, but as the people sort of working on the show? The first season, the premiere episode was was maybe the highest rated comedy ever to premiere on HBO.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know who measures those things. I don't know.
remember reading the headline somewhere last year.
Yeah. I don't know. You could write a story about anything. Maybe. Sounds good to me.
What's it like working with The Rock? Fun?
Yeah. I mean, it's about exactly how you would imagine it is. You can't be as that magnetic on screen and not be pretty magnetic in person.
I'm literally always blown away by how magnetic Dwayne Johnson is when he comes on screen, because there's something about him in the back of my brain that still goes like The Rock, wrestler, action movies, but then I watch anything that he's in, and as soon as he appears on screen, I'm like, God damn it.
I know. Well, none of the things you mentioned there either make you go, ugh. Like, they're all totally cool, dude. So it's like, yeah, there's really nobody that I've never met anybody that doesn't care for The Rock. They're like, ugh. Everybody has a group of people that don't like them.
I feel like the highest of highbrow people are like, I don't like those Fast and Furious movies, but The Rock, he is charming.
Yeah, the most like cynical, edgy downtown comedian tweeted the other day like, The Rock is awesome. Like, Everybody
Just
likes
something
him.
that seems so sincere and charming about him all the time, and I
Yeah.
guess he's the same way on set as a guy.
Yeah, it's all real.
So this was a show obviously created by Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg. I think is an EP on
Yeah,
it as well.
Peter's a producer on it, and he directed the pilot.
Stephen Levinson.
Yeah, Steve
created
Levinson
it,
is the
excuse me.
creator.
But tailored around The Rock, essentially. When you came on to be the sort of his buddy,
The white
on
guy?
the show, the white guy, the sidekick, a little bit. Did you have to do like chemistry reads with The Rock? Had you ever worked with him before? Did you know him? Was it really about like?
No, I didn't even have an audition. I had a meeting with Levinson, Evan O'Reilly, who is the showrunner, and Lev's father was there. Lev, we call him, and he's about 80-something years old, and apparently Lev brings Lev to every meeting, and the guy, I just noticed he looked at me and he kind of looked me up and down, and he looked at Steve and he just went. And he walked over to the bar or something, and we had a meeting, and I mostly talked about fantasy football, and then I had the job.
What is his father like the Oracle?
Yeah, he's like an audition whisperer. I don't know.
You're a sports guy yourself. I mean, you're a big comedy guy, but are you into sports?
Not as much as a lot of people. I'm big into football. I like I like the idea of baseball. I don't watch it. There's too many games. I'm a playoff baseball watcher.
Same. I can't, there's too many, as you said, there's too many games. But what about the idea of baseball? Is it like America's pastime?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
it's very
Ken
romantic
Burns?
to me. It's romantic. I mean, I grew up in Boston, so I would always go to Fenway Park.
Same.
And that's what it's sort of about for me.
You're a Massachusetts person, and you don't have anything in your heart for the Red Sox or baseball. I don't
You're
know
dead
where
inside.
You're from. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was never a big hockey fan until I went to a Kings game in LA and got to sit up front. Like we were literally in the Staples Center, had our backs to the wall, and we were like, "Oh, this is terrible. I hate hockey." And we went out and got a drink at the bar, and we're sitting out having a drink, and this former intern from The Daily Show walked by, and he works at the Staples Center now, and got us down to like the second row. And hockey's great in the second row. It's really
I
good.
think that's why a lot of people go see farm hockey teams and stuff like that, because you get to get better seats, and it's really fun
I
to
remember
watch.
liking it a lot in high school because I was right down there. But so that's the only way to watch hockey. You can't watch it on TV either.
I wonder if Nicholson felt the same way about basketball until he got like front row seats at the Lakers. Or something
Probably,
like that.
probably became a sports fan when he got famous.
Now you ended Children's Hospital this year.
I did?
That's what I heard.
That's a terrible idea. We were doing great.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Somebody
blew it,
must have
Rob.
misunderstood me. Yeah, I did. I decided, I didn't have a lot of creative energy for anything else, and I wanted to do other things as well. I loved Children's Hospital, and
As did I.
and thank you. I continue to love it. But I realized, like, better to go out at what I feel was our best season. It would be respectful to the show that we worked so hard on, and I like being able to make those decisions rather than having somebody make them for me after the show has fizzled to nothing. And if you have that agency, then you should always be thinking about it at least. Like, yeah.
And you're working on a kind of one-off right now, right? Is that for Adult Swim, the Hindenburg?
I'm working on a one-off special right now called Mr. Neighbor's House for Adult Swim, and yes, we just got a pilot picked up. John Stern, one of my partners, Children's, and I, and this guy named Josh Perillo, one of my UCB friends from New York. The three of us created this show called The Hindenburg Explodes, and it crickets.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm a fan.
And it's basically it's the whole show takes place during the final journey of the Hindenburg, and it explodes at the end of every episode.
So every episode you're trying to stop, like you're going.
Or trying to figure out how we're gonna blow it up. Yeah.
Is this Adult Swim as well?
Yeah.
What's it, so many people who start at Adult Swim, I feel like, just continue making shows with Adult Swim. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to leave once you start there. What's with that? Why?
Well, the only reason to not do shows at Adult Swim is if you want to make any money. Adult Swim is a great place for creators because they respect that. They don't get in the way of your. They pick up shows from people made by people they trust, and they trust them, and they continue to trust them, and pretty much give you free reign to make the show you want to make.
Was Children's Hospital originally produced for a different network and brought to Adult Swim, or was it always Adult Swim?
Well, it was on TV. It was always Adult Swim. It was made. The first season ran on the internet.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, and it was during a time when I don't think any shows went from the internet to television. There was a darker line separating the two mediums, and it was the writer's strike, and online material was the only thing that people could make. So I just did it because I was bored for the most part, and then Adult Swim called up, and I'm very fond of calling Adult Swim the internet of television. So it seemed like a perfect match.
Now, you started at UCB as a performer. Were you always a writer as well? Were you sort of, while you were coming up as an actor and getting sort of bit parts and then supporting parts and larger parts, were you also sort of pitching ideas for shows and stuff?
I wasn't. I had a sketch group, and we used to perform at the UCB Theater, so we'd be doing improv and sketch there, and all teaching classes. We were called Naked Babies. Right. And so I wrote a lot for that sketch group, but I don't think you can call yourself a writer until you call yourself a writer. It's like you have to decide when you're a writer, and it's a WGA card does not a writer make. It took I think going to LA and being on a failed show and having to sort of.
What show was that?
Oh, that was called The Winner. It was Seth MacFarlane's first live-action sitcom about a 30-something man whose best friend is a 14-year-old boy. Problematic. Immediately problematic. Should have seen the writing on that wall. I think halfway through the run, Fox was like, oh, wait a minute, what did we do? And so that was canceled. The writer's strike happened. Imagine
the writer's room for The Winner just consistently then being like, well, we can't make that joke. He's 14. That's going to be too much innuendo. Yeah. Can't do that.
Can the kid stand outside the massage parlor and wait for him? No? Oh, okay. Yeah, so then I wrote children's, and that's when I finally felt like a writer and felt confident enough to call myself one.
Can you elaborate on that just a little bit? Like, what was the moment where you were like, okay, I am a writer? Was it the idea of like finishing a project, or the idea of like, now I have to write all of these things consistently?
Yeah. A writer, I always wanted to be a writer growing up. That was my main aspiration. I loved acting and films and movies and TV, but I always thought like an actor, people don't become actors. Those guys are born actors and they stay actors and they die. I'm not. That's an impossible job, so I decided I wanted to write. But there is I think it's true for any job or any role you have that it's hard to call yourself something that you've aspired to, something that you admire yourself. And writers are somebody I always admired and always took very seriously, and I don't take myself very seriously. So it was hard to take that leap. And I think that's, like I said, true for any role, can be true for any role. It's about confidence, I think. And yes, it was finishing it. It was doing something, having an idea, starting it, and actually finishing something that you stop feeling like you're faking it.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds
Yeah.
like the moment you felt like you took it seriously, either going into it or when you finished it, you're like, oh, I took that seriously now.
Exactly.
I guess I'm a writer.
Exactly right. I mean, there's something, I think everybody in this room probably, there's something in your life that you feel like you're faking. You know, like I'm faking that. I'm doing it. I might be getting paid for it, or it might be a hobby or like guitar or my job. I'm faking this and they seem to be buying it. And it's just up to you to decide that you're not faking it anymore, that you're that. And it's as simple as that. It really is, you could just decide right now.
Rob Corddry really just cut down to my core, and he
Decide.
has no idea.
This seminar, I think, was very successful. You all owe me $5,000.
Tony Robbins doesn't have shit on you, Rob. Let's open up to the audience for some questions. First question?
Hi, Rob.
Hi.
I'm a big fan of Mike's Pastry in Boston, and I wanted to know what are your favorite places to eat?
Where's Mike's Pastry? Is that the North End? Yeah, I know that place. My favorite places to eat in general or in Boston? Oh. Well, the entire area, I'd say, like Boston, I love Chinatown. I can walk into any of those shitholes and eat the best Chinese food ever. I can say shithole here, right?
Especially when you're talking about Boston.
Oh, good. Let's burn.
I can say that. I'm from Massachusetts. I can say that.
Where are you from?
I'm from Western Mass.
Okay, different state. I went to school
True,
out there.
we're good people.
Shithole. So all right, I like. There's this little place in Weymouth, Massachusetts called That's Italian Too. TOO. That's Italian, also, and they make a great Italian sandwich. I love. What's the place? It's one of the oldest restaurants in the country. It's a clam house. It starts with a D. You don't know the name, but you've eaten there? Oh, I thought you were like, I can't eat there. I'm allergic.
Talking about it.
Yeah, it's like the oldest restaurant in America. I can't remember the name. You said 5? I'm not going to come up with 5. I can't even remember my brother's name right now. But those are two good places.
Are you a proud Bostonian?
Everybody that's from Boston is sort of an annoyingly proud Bostonian, based on nothing.
Next question.
Hey, Rob. I love your
hi.
work.
How you doing?
Good, man.
All right.
Okay. So, I'm curious, on the set of Ballers, besides The Rock, is there any other actors who are able to do the people's eyebrow? And if you're on that list, can we get some eyebrow action?
Like that?
That's all I was asking for.
Everybody, that's the people's eyebrow?
That's the people. I can't do
I would
it.
say it's like the opposite of that. It's the elitist's eyebrow. Yeah, this is the only requirement to be a Daily Show correspondent. You have to be able to, you have to go like this. And have your, do the people's eyebrow.
I have a question about Ballers. On every movie and every show, people always talk about who's number one on the call sheet and what it's like when they come to set and how they run the set as number one on the call sheet. But there's something specific, I think, about The Rock being number one on the call sheet because he's 6'5" and like 400 pounds of all muscle.
And the star of the show.
And the star of the show. So when it's like, when you're like shooting a scene and The Rock comes, does the set, even though he's there maybe every day, is there something about the set that everyone still probably goes, holy shit, The Rock is here?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking
I think
massive.
just due to the sheer size of him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, when he walks into a room, he cuts a large figure. He's a number one. But everybody, and this is true for every movie. It's funny you mentioned the call sheet. Is that people will say, like on their walkies, they'll be like, "Do we have number one yet? Give me an ETA." Number one will be here in 20. Number one's walking. I'm always like number 5 to 7, very comfortable place to be, because you don't work 5 days a week. Your hours are a lot better. You can get a lot of napping.
They're always like, is number 5 here? No, he's on set.
Who's number 5 again?
He's here. Wait, he's been here.
The white guy? Troy white guy or Rob white guy?
I think we have time for one more question.
Hello.
Hello.
One of my favorite little bits of TV ever is the fake live episode on Children's Hospital where the camera scratched
cool.
into
Thank
each
you.
other. And I was just wondering, how long did that take from the rehearsal and the shooting?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, we did a live episode, quote unquote, on Children's Hospital one season 4 of 4, I think, 3 or 4. I don't know. I don't know what season it is. That's not your question. But on a normally we shoot 2 episodes in 4 days on Children's. We block shoot it, meaning we'll shoot different scenes from both episodes and finish 2 episodes in 4 days. That episode, so we took 2 days. The first day, we just rehearsed it because there was a lot of, it's 15 minutes of nonstop action. It's like doing a little play. And it was and everybody you ask anybody from Children's Hospital what their favorite experience was, they'll say that, because it was so much fun just rehearsing it all day. And then the next day, we would shoot it. And it's one take. We did it all in one take. And we did, I think, 5 or 6 takes of it. And we used the first one. We were after the first one, we were like, we might be able to go home now, but it just didn't make sense. So we were like, oh, we should do a couple more. It was really, really fun. Yeah, so shorter than usual, I guess, is the answer to your question.
Rob, I have to let you go. Ballers premieres this weekend, right? Sunday, 10 p.m.?
Sunday at 10.
Congratulations on another
Happy
great
Ballers
season of
Day,
the show.
everybody.
Rob, thanks so much for being
Thank
here,
you.
man. Pleasure talking to you.
Appreciate it.